Welcome to Trion's Realm. Today we're going to take a look at the physical version of Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater for the Nintendo Switch. The Fatal Frame franchise has been a long-time favorite survival horror series for me, and I've gone out of my way to collect it physically across many different systems. The fifth entry, subtitled Maiden of Blackwater, came to the Wii U years ago. I played the opening chapters as a free download, but was frustrated to find that the US would never get a proper physical release. Unfortunately, it only got physical releases in Japan and Europe. As a result, I never got to play the game properly until recently with the Switch release. The handling of the series since Nintendo became a co-owner with Koei Tecmo over a decade ago has been simultaneously baffling and frustrating. The game's always become a hot potato between Koei Tecmo and Nintendo on who will handle the physical publishing outside of Japan, with most recent entries being trapped in the digital-only hellscape unless you decide to go the route of importing. As a result of this, it has had trouble in the US breaking out of its niche status as a very Japanese survival horror series. The gameplay and the style and everything about it is very much an acquired taste. Now fortunately, the Switch got an Asian physical release that features an English language option. On the flip side, there is a little bit of a caveat to that. At the time that the game went to manufacturing, they did not have the English language patch put onto the game. So this means that if you pick up the physical version, its default on-cart version is actually the Chinese version. On the positive end, there is a relatively small patch that they give you for free that actually switches the game to full English. This includes both the text and the dialogue, because this game was fully translated with an English voice cast when it first came out back on the Wii U. So they use that translation when they put it onto the Switch. Now, when it comes to the cartridge, it ends in 000, and the version on cart is version 1.0.0. Now, if you update the game, it'll take it to version 1.0.5. This patch size comes to 582 megabytes, and as I said before, this will add in all of the English text as well as the English voice acting. The game clocks in at 14.3 gigabytes on the eShop, and I'm happy to say that they used a 16 gigabyte cartridge. Now, I did attempt to test the game offline, but unfortunately, as I said, the standard cartridge defaults to Chinese language version. It was very difficult for me to do any real navigating around the game, but I was at least able to get it started and it ran just fine. It is technically playable, but you won't get far without an understanding of the language. Now, unfortunately, because this is an Asian release, that means that any of the DLC is going to be tied to an overseas account. But as it stands right now, I think it's just a couple of costumes, so it's not really that big of a deal. With the exception of the fact that they weren't able to get the English patch on there, I'm actually pretty impressed by this one overall. The game plays well, it looks beautiful, and as a longtime fan, I'm very happy that I waited to get the physical version. As it stands right now, I don't believe that they're going to do any type of reprint of this to add on the English language. But you can still get this relatively inexpensively off of Play Asia. So if you are a fan of Fatal Frame and you've been holding out for a physical version, this is a worthwhile one to get, in my opinion. What do you think of Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater on the Switch? Have you played it already, either digitally or physically? What are your thoughts on the series overall? Let us know in the comments down below. If this video helped you and you'd like to see more, please subscribe and hit that like button. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.